The mission begins. The great halls of the Galactic Council were silent. Thousands of alien leaders sat in rows watching. Some had eyes. Some had horns. Some were made of metal. All of them looked at the center of the room, where a young human woman stood. Her name was Lena Carter. She was only 28 years old, but today she represented all of Earth. Lena took a deep breath. Her heart was beating fast. She wore a silver uniform with the Earth symbol on her chest, a blue circle with a white star. This was not just a meeting. This was history. Humans had always been seen as weak, violent, or not smart enough to join the Galactic Union. But after years of struggle, Earth had finally been invited. Lena was the first human to speak in the Great Hall. Standing behind her was Commander Rake, a tall, quiet man with strong arms, a hard face, and sharp eyes. He had fought in wars, saved lives, and seen many terrible things. Now, his only mission was to protect Lena. He didn't talk much, but he watched everything. Lena stepped forward. Her voice shook a little as she spoke. "Honorable leaders of the Galactic Union, I bring peace from Earth." Some aliens smiled. Some frowned. One laughed. A deep, cruel sound that echoed through the hall. Rake's eyes moved. He noticed the laughing alien had a metal device on his wrist, something small, something hidden. He looked around more. One alien was whispering into his collar. Another was typing something on a glowing screen. Something was wrong. Lena continued. "We wish to be part of this galaxy not as enemies but as friends." Suddenly the lights flickered. Just for a second. It was small. Most didn't notice. But Rake did. He moved a little closer to Lena. A few more words from her. Then, his training kicked in. A red dot appeared. It danced on Lena's chest. Small, silent, deadly. Rake didn't think. He moved. In less than a second, he threw his body in front of her. Zap! A loud sound, like lightning hitting metal. The shot hit Rake directly in the side. He groaned but didn't fall. He grabbed Lena and pushed her to the ground behind the stage. Aliens screamed. Security bots rushed in. Lights turned red. Alarms rang across the hall. Rake fell to one knee. His armor was glowing, burned from the shot. His eyes stayed open, but his breath was heavy. Lena looked at him, her eyes wide with fear. "Rake, you're hit." He gave a small smile. "Not bad for an old soldier." "Why did you do that? You could have died." He looked at her, his voice quiet. "Because you're our future, not me." Security caught the shooter, a member of a small alien race called the Drexel, known for their hate toward humans. But something didn't make sense. The weapon was too advanced, the plan too perfect. It felt bigger. Lena stood up, shaking. She looked at the leaders. "This is what humans are. We protect those we care about. We fight for peace. We don't run from danger. We face it." Some aliens nodded slowly. Others looked away. Rake was carried out on a floating stretcher. As he passed Lena, he said just one word. "Careful." She didn't understand. Not yet, but something was coming. The attack was only the beginning. Later that night in her room, Lena watched the video again. The red dot. The shot. Rake moving, like a shield. She whispered, "Why would anyone take a shot meant for someone else?" In the stars above, warships moved quietly, hidden, waiting, and far away. In a dark room, a voice whispered through a speaker. "Plan failed. But she doesn't know yet. Continue the mission." The soldier who didn't die. Silence. Cold. Darkness. That's all Commander Rake felt. No pain, no sound, just empty space. Then, light. A flicker. A sound in the distance. Someone calling his name. "Commander, can you hear me?" His body didn't move, but inside something stirred. Rake was not dead. Hours earlier, chaos had filled the Galactic Council Hall. After the assassination attempt, guards had stormed in. Lena had shouted for help. Medical bots had rushed in and pulled Rake away. Now, he lay inside a secret medical pod hidden deep within the human ship Unity Star. Alien doctors worked quickly, whispering among themselves. No human has ever survived a direct plasma hit, one said. His armor absorbed part of the blast, but still, his organs are failing. He should be dead. But he wasn't. Because Rake was not like other men. Elsewhere, Lena stood before a hologram screen, eyes full of fear and fire. She watched the recording again and again. The moment Rake stepped in front of her, the sound of the plasma shot, the fall, the blood, and the warning, careful. It wasn't just about the assassin. Rake knew something. Something big. Something dangerous. Lena opened a small chip he had left in his armor before the mission. It was hidden behind a broken plate, barely visible. Inside the chip, one short message played. If I go down and don't trust anyone, not even those in your circle, someone on your team is not who they say they are. Lena froze. Her own team? A traitor? She remembered Agent Core, her advisor, who had once served in alien diplomacy. She remembered Enzo, the tech expert, who always asked too many questions. And then there was Captain Varys, half human, half alien, the one who hated Earth's ways but still joined the mission. Who could it be? The betrayal could destroy everything. Lena knew one thing for sure. If Rake had trusted her with this warning, she had to follow it. Back on the Unity Star, the doctors were shocked. Rake's body, though broken, began to respond. His heart started beating stronger. His brain activity rose. He was fighting. Inside his mind, Rake saw flashes, not dreams and memories, a battlefield, fire everywhere, his squad gone. Only one left. A young boy crying, and a voice. A woman's voice. From his past. Promise me, Rake. When the time comes, protect the good ones, no matter what. His eyes opened, slow, heavy, but alive. Dr. Jala, an alien healer, stared at him. Impossible, she whispered. Rake turned his head slowly. His voice was dry, rough. Where is she? She is safe, Jala said, for now. Meanwhile, in the shadows of a quiet hangar, two alien figures met in secret. One wore the armor of a council guard. The other, a smooth black robe with a deep voice. It failed, the guard said. She survived. The human took the shot. The robed figure nodded. We expected that. Humans are stubborn. What now? Now we kill the idea of peace. He handed the guard a small metal cube. Plant this, in their engine core. No survivors. The guard hesitated. What if they find it? Then we moved to phase 2. Lena walked through the halls of the ship, now under lockdown. Everyone was being questioned. Everyone watched. Fear was in the air. She entered the med bay and stopped. Commander Rake was awake, weak, pale, but sitting up. His eyes met hers. You're alive, she said, tears rising. I told you, he replied, voice dry but calm. It'll take more than that to kill me. She smiled, then looked serious. Rake, someone in our team is a traitor. You were right. I know, he said. But we don't have time. They'll try again. That night, alarms blared again. The ship shook. Lena and Rake rushed to the control room, where smoke rose from the floor. The engines were shutting down. There's a bomb, a crew member shouted. A flashing light appeared on the screen, a countdown. 3 minutes. Rake didn't wait. Still injured, he grabbed a weapon and ran with Lena toward the engine bay. Inside, they found the cube, hidden near the core. Rake opened the control panel, fingers shaking but steady. It's coded in Drexel tech, Lena said. Can you disable it? No, Rake replied. But I can slow it. He pulled out a wire from his arm. A combat implant. This will jam the signal, but I'll be exposed. You just got back, she said. You can't. I don't care. He plugged in the wire. The countdown stopped at U0.07, the bomb deactivated, but Rake collapsed again. His body couldn't take much more. Later, as medics worked on him again, Lena made a promise in front of the whole crew. We are under attack not just by weapons, but by lies. Rake has already risked his life twice. We cannot let his loyalty be wasted. We find the traitor, we stop this war, and we fight for Earth's place in the galaxy. Everyone in the room stood in silence, and far away, the enemy watched from a hidden ship. They still don't know, the dark figure said. Let them believe in loyalty, it won't save them. Secrets in the shadows' darkness fell over the Unity Star. Outside, only stars moved in the black sky. Inside, everyone was silent, pretending to sleep. But sleep did not come. Not tonight. Too many questions. Too many secrets. Too much fear. And one traitor among them. Lena sat alone in the control chamber, her hands shaking. The memory of the bomb still echoed in her mind. Rake had nearly died. Again. And it wasn't over. She stared at the ship's internal logs, checking every security, camera, every movement. Nothing obvious, no mistakes. Whoever planted the bomb was smart. Too smart. Meanwhile, Commander Rake sat in the medbay again, wires still running through his veins. He wasn't resting. He was watching. His soldier's brain replayed every moment since the attack. The guard who looked away too quickly, the tech who had access to the engine room, the ambassador who always left meetings early. He knew one thing: the enemy wasn't just outside. They were inside. Flashback. 6 years ago. A battlefield. Sandstorm. Screams. Rake was dragging a wounded soldier behind a rock wall, bullets flying. Why? Are you risking your life for me? The soldier had asked, blood pouring from his leg. Rake had answered, because no soldier gets left behind. Ever. That was his rule. But now one of their own had turned against them. Back in the present, Lena called a meeting in the ship's war room. Only a few close team members were invited. Agent Kor, her longtime diplomatic advisor, once praised for saving a mission from civil war. Enzo, the young tech officer who knew every wire on the ship. Captain Varys, half-human, half-Terrax, known for her cold logic. And Dr. Jala, the alien medic who had helped save Rake. The room felt heavy. Lena stood. There was a bomb placed. In our engine core. Only people with access could have planted it. And they're in this room. No one moved. No one blinked. Kor spoke first. Are you accusing us? I'm not accusing, she said. I'm investigating. Then investigate. Away, said Varys coldly. But while you waste time, our real enemies prepare for war. Maybe our real enemies are already here, Rake said as he entered, limping but strong. I fought Drexel before. They don't act alone. Someone fed them information. Someone gave them codes. Eyes turned toward Enzo. The youngest. The quietest. I've done nothing. Enzo stood up. You think just because I handle tech, it must be me. It's not about what we think, Rake said. It's about what we find. He tossed a chip onto the table. It lit up. Security footage from 10 minutes before the bomb was planted. It showed the hallway near the engine core. Empty at first. Then a blurry figure. Just a shadow. But one thing was clear. The person had only one arm. All eyes turned to Captain Varys. Her right arm was cybernetic. She didn't flinch. I was in the upper deck, she said. Ask the bots. Ask anyone. I did, Lena said. And they say, no one saw you there? Silence again. But Varys didn't look nervous. She looked amused. You think I planted a bomb to kill our mission? She asked. If I wanted this ship destroyed, it would already be floating in pieces. That's when Rake stepped forward. You're not the traitor, he said, but you're hiding something. I'm hiding everything, Varys said coldly, because the truth is too dangerous. Later that night, Lena sat in her quarters watching Varys on the screen. She rewound the footage again. She zoomed in. Suddenly, her eyes widened. A reflection. On the wall, for only a second, the person's face was Clear, not Varys, not Enzo, Agent Kor. At the same time on the lower deck, Kor entered a private chamber. He locked the door, pressed a button on the wall. A small secret compartment opened. Inside, a black Drexel communicator. He spoke in whispers. They're getting close. The soldier is too sharp. I can delay them, but not for long. The voice on the other side replied, then end it now, before they reach Orion Station. Kor looked into the mirror. For the first time, his face didn't look like Kor. It flickered, shifted. He was not human. He was a skin shifter, a rare alien spy species. And he had taken Kor's place months ago. Back in the med bay, Rake sat with Lena. I don't like this, he said. We're chasing shadows. Every time we get close, the truth slips away. But we're closer now, Lena replied. And I think I know who the traitor is. Then what are you waiting for? I need proof. The next day, a meeting was called. Everyone returned to the war room. Lena stood calmly, holding a small device. I ran a scan on everyone's DNA, she said. For health safety, of course. The doors locked, and then she turned to Kor. The results say, you're not human. Kor didn't speak. He just smiled. And then, boom, a flash of light. Smoke filled the room, and when it cleared, Kor was gone. Somewhere deep in space, Kor's ship moved fast toward a hidden destination, Orion Station, where the true war plan was waiting, and where peace would die, unless Lena and Rake stopped it. Escape from the Star Dome. The walls of the Star Dome were made of crystal alloy, strong enough to survive black hole pressure. It floated on the edge of a dead star system, far from the main routes, hidden from common maps. Once a symbol of peace, the Star Dome was now a trap. Lena didn't know that, and not yet. She thought this was just another stop on the diplomatic tour. A secret emergency meeting called by the Galactic Council. But Rake knew something was wrong. His instincts screamed it. Hours earlier, the traitor, Agent Kor, had escaped. No trace, no signal, just smoke, confusion, and one missing life. Pod after the escape, Rake had spent the entire night running deep scans on the Unity Star systems. He found something shocking. Kor had sent a signal before disappearing. A highly encrypted message that bounced off 3 dead satellites, 2 trade beacons, and then vanished. The signal's last known direction, Star Dome. Now they were here. Lena, Rake, Captain Varys, and a team of 4 guards stood in the entry chamber of the Star Dome. Alien guards, as not their own, took their weapons for safety. We'll return them after the meeting, a council aide said with a fake smile. Rake didn't smile back. He stared at the man's hands. No veins. Artificial skin. Lena, he whispered. This place is wrong. We're being watched. I know, she said. But if this is where the truth leads us, we face it. They were led to a large, white chamber shaped like a sphere. The council table sat in the center, but only 2 alien ambassadors were there. No crowd, no full council, just silence. Where are the others? Lena asked. They'll join shortly, one of the ambassadors said. The lights dimmed. Rake tensed. Too quiet, too clean, too late. Suddenly every door slammed shut. The guards turned their weapons, not toward the walls, but toward Lena and Rake. The ambassadors disappeared, their holograms flickering out. It had been a setup from the beginning. Hidden door opened across the room. Kor stepped out, no longer pretending to be human. His skin flickered, shimmered. Cold silver eyes glowed under a fake smile. Well, he said, you made it farther than I thought. Lena stood tall. You betrayed us. No, Kor said. I betrayed the lie. This galaxy doesn't want peace, it wants control. You humans were just getting in the way. He nodded to the guards. Kill the soldier. Bring the ambassador to the ship. Before they could move, Rake reacted. Even without a weapon, he fought like a storm. He charged the nearest alien, slamming him into the wall, grabbed the blaster, shot twice. Another guard fell, but there were too many. Lena grabbed a steel rod from the floor and joined him. She fought hard. Not like a diplomat, but like someone with something to protect. "Kor," she yelled. "You won't win." Kor tapped his wrist. "I already have." He activated a device. The Star Dome's walls began to shift. The floor cracked open. The whole structure was moving, realigning like a weapon. On the Unity Star, Captain Varys saw the signal. A massive energy buildup. The Star Dome wasn't a council chamber. It was a disguised cannon. A world killer. Target, Unity Star. "Get us out of here," she shouted. "Prepare the warp drive." But it was blocked. Varys knew. If they didn't stop it from the inside, they would all be destroyed. Inside the Star Dome, Rake and Lena ran down narrow side corridors. Sirens blared. Doors opened and closed. Every step more danger, every corner another trap. Lena gasped. "He turned a peace station into a war machine." Rake nodded. "Told you, never trust smiling diplomats." They entered the control room. Inside, a single terminal. Rake plugged in a hacking device. Lena watched the screen, countdown ticking. 0, 03, 12. They had 3 minutes before the weapon fired. Rake worked fast, fingers flying. "I can't shut it down," he said. "But I can reroute the power." "Where?" He looked up. "Into the reactor." She paused. "It'll destroy the entire station." He nodded. "And us?" "Probably." She smiled weakly. "We've had worse days." Footsteps. Kor entered, holding a glowing blade. "Step away," he said. Lena moved in front of Rake. "You can't stop the truth with fear." "I don't need to," Kor replied. "I just need to erase it." He charged. Rake spun, using a loose cable as a whip, catching Kor's blade hand. The two fought brutally. Rake was slower, still recovering, but more determined. Lena ran to the reactor core and pulled the last lever. Kor saw the lights flicker. "You're going to kill us all." "No," she said. "We're going to stop you." The core pulsed, power surged backward. The countdown froze at 0001. Then, boom, a massive explosion ripped through the Star Dome. From outside, the station looked like a star collapsing into itself. Light, dust, then silence. In the wreckage, a small pod floated out. Inside, Rake and Lena, barely conscious, bruised but alive. Captain Varys picked them up minutes later. "You two look terrible," she said. Rake coughed. "You should see the other guy." They didn't smile. Because this wasn't the end. This was the beginning of war. Far away on a black planet no one dared map, a council of hidden leaders watched the destruction of the Star Dome. A voice whispered, "They've escaped again." "Yes," another replied, "and now they know everything." "Then prepare the fleets. Humanity has made its choice." Rake's returned silence. Then the sound of breath. Slow. Heavy. Commander Rake opened his eyes inside the med pod. Again. But this time was different. He didn't wake up to pain. He woke up to purpose. It had been 7 days since the Star Dome explosion. The galaxy was shaken. A peace station destroyed. The traitor escaped. 2 humans had survived a suicide mission. Now every world was talking about it. Some called it sabotage. Some called it war. But for many it was something else. It was a warning. Don't underestimate humanity. Rake stood slowly, his body sore but stronger than before. New cybernetic implants ran along his back and spine, built not by humans, but by allies. Dr. Jala, the alien medic who once doubted humans, had personally rebuilt him. "You should rest," she said. "I don't have time for rest," Rake replied. "The galaxy's burning." On the Unity Star, Lena stood before a digital map. Dozens of red dots lit up, secret Drexel ships moving fast across the galaxy. "They're preparing to strike," she whispered. Captain Varys stood beside her. "The Star Dome was only Phase 1, Varys said. "Their next target is bigger." "What is it?" Varys stared at the map, then pointed Orion Station. Orion Station wasn't just a base, it was a symbol. The first station built by humans and aliens together, a place of peace, science, and unity. It also held something else, the galaxy core, a server holding data on every planet, species, and defense system. If the Drexel took it, they wouldn't just win a battle. They'd win the war before it began. Lena called a meeting with her crew. "We have 3 days before the Drexel reach Orion Station," she said. "We need to warn them. We need to defend it." Someone asked, "With what?" "We're outnumbered." Another added, "We're outgunned." Rake entered the room then. Everyone fell silent. He wasn't just healed. He looked upgraded. His new armor was a blend of human steel and alien tech, glowing softly at the edges. His movements were smoother, stronger. "I'll lead the team," he said. Lena looked at him. "Are you sure?" He nodded. "They tried to kill me twice. They failed. Now it's my turn." That night, Rake sat alone in the training room watching old war footage, images of destroyed cities, lost friends, broken promises. He remembered what the alien commander once said during the war. "Humans don't break. They bleed, they burn, but they don't bend." Rake smiled. Damn right. The next morning, they left. Unity Star jumped through deep space, avoiding detection. As they approached Orion Station, they saw the worst. The station was already surrounded. Over 50 Drexel ships floated like shadows, cutting off every path. "Theo, humans were late. We can't get through that," Varys said. "We have to," Rake answered. "There's one way." He looked at Lena. She understood immediately. "You're not serious." "It's the only way." The plan was madness. Rake and a small strike team would use an old mining shuttle to break through the outer fleet, flying straight at a weak point near the enemy's power array. Meanwhile, Unity Star would fake a distress signal on the opposite side, pulling attention away. It had to be perfect, or it would be suicide. Inside the mining shuttle, Rake stood with his new team, 2 human soldiers and 1 alien commando named Vazar, who once fought against humans, and now fought beside them. "Ready to die?" Rake asked. "No," Vazar growled. "Ready to win." They launched. Alarms blared. The enemy saw them. Rake flew the shuttle like a bullet through space, weaving between laser blasts, fire, and chaos. They reached the power array. "Blow it," Rake shouted. The team planted charges, held the line, and boom. One side of the Drexel fleet lost power for 30 seconds. Just enough. Unity Star blasted through the hole in the blockade and reached Orion Station. Inside the station, Lena met with the last remaining defense commander, an old, blind alien named Ruin. "They told me humans were weak," he said. She smiled. "They told us the same about you." Together, they prepared for the final stand. As Drexel troops landed across the station's outer rings, Rake rejoined the team inside. His armor was dented, his left eye was bleeding, but he didn't stop. "They're coming," he said. "How many?" Lena asked. He looked out the window at the fleet. "All of them." The final scene of Part 5 ends with this. Rake stands at the window of Orion Station, watching the blackness of space fill with enemy ships. Behind him, soldiers prepare. Beside him, Lena watches the countdown to invasion. He turns to her. "If we fall here, the galaxy falls with us." She replies, "Then we don't fall." Rake loads his weapon, lifts his head. Time to remind them why they fear us. The last stand at Orion Station was shaking. The floors trembled, lights flickered, explosions echoed from distant halls. Outside, a sea of warships moved like shadows, surrounding the last beacon of peace. Inside, humans and alien allies prepared for a fight that would decide the future of the galaxy. This was no longer a diplomatic station. It was a battleground. Commander Rake stood at the command platform, fully armored, his face calm but sharp. Behind him stood 100 fighters, humans, aliens, engineers, and medics, all ready to fight. Lena stood beside him, not as an ambassador now, but as a leader. You don't have to be here, Rake said. She smiled faintly. Neither do you. He looked around. This place, it's more than a station, he said. It's the idea that different worlds can work together. She nodded. And that idea is what they're trying to kill. A loud alert cut through the moment. Drexel breach on Deck 5. Multiple boarding pods inbound. The war had begun. Scene shift. Outside the station, in space, the battle turned brutal. The Unity Star and its small fleet fought like wolves, fast and furious, using every trick in the book. Drones exploded. Fighters weaved between heavy beams. One human pilot screamed, "We'll make them remember Earth's name." But there were too many enemies. For every Drexel ship destroyed, 2 more appeared, and they were coming closer. Inside the station, Deck 5, the first Drexel soldiers broke through. Tall, armored, deadly. They moved with perfect precision, like machines with hearts of ice. Rake led the defense team with brutal force. He fired non-stop, moved through smoke and fire like a shadow. Each shot counted. Each punch meant survival. "Don't let them reach the core," he yelled. The Galaxy core, deep inside Orion Station, held the data that could give the Drexel control over every planetary defense system in the Union. If they reached it, it was over. Lena's mission. While Rake held the front lines, Lena led a small team through back tunnels toward the core. She had one job: lock down the core and send a backup to Earth. But every hallway was crawling with enemies. Twice, her team was ambushed. One soldier died. Another was badly injured. Still, she pushed forward. "We lose this data," she whispered. "We lose the galaxy." Back on the battlefront, a Drexel warlord dropped from the ceiling, massive, covered in black armor. Rake turned to face him. The alien smiled. "Still standing, human?" "Still fighting," Rake replied. They clashed. Blades against armor, strength against will. It wasn't just a fight. It was personal. This warlord had led the attack on Earth's colony moons years ago. Rake had lost friends, a brother, and now he wasn't going to let the monster walk away. The fight was savage. Rake was injured. Blood poured from his side. But in the final moment, he grabbed a broken blade, whispered, "For them," and drove it into the alien's heart. The warlord fell. But so did Rake, on one knee, breath heavy, vision blurry. Lena reaches the core. She and her final soldier arrived at the core room. The door was open. Inside, a figure waited. Agent Core alive and smiling. "You didn't think I'd miss the end, did you?" he said. He wore a new body, sleek, armored, cold. "I sent your name to every council," Lena said. "You'll never be accepted anywhere." "I don't want acceptance," Core replied. "I want control." He moved toward the core. She pulled a weapon. He laughed. "You won't shoot. You're the peaceful one." She shot. Not once. 3 times he fell backward, stunned. Not dead, but wounded. She ran to the console, locked it. Sent the backup. "Data sent to Earth. Failsafe activated. Core will self-destruct in 60 seconds. Core screamed, crawling forward. "You've ruined everything." "No," she said. "You did that when you betrayed your own people." She ran. The soldier grabbed her and they jumped into a shield pod. The core exploded behind them. The collapse begins. The station shook violently. Fire spread. Walls cracked. Lena's voice came through Rake's comm. "It's done. The core is gone." Rake smiled weakly. "Told you. You're tougher than you look." "Can you get out?" "Not sure," he said. "But I'll hold the rear." "Go." Final moments, Rake fought down one last hallway, buying time for escape ships to launch. Smoke filled the air. Sparks flew. He activated the station's defense override, manually sealing sections to block Drexel access. Lena, on the ship now, watched through the glass. "He's still inside," she whispered. Captain Varys responded. "He won't leave until everyone else is safe." Lena opened the comm. "Rake, please." Silence. Then his voice, steady. You were the future, Lena. Still are. Keep going. The connection ended. The last pod launched. Behind it, Orion Station exploded in a massive wave of light and fire, taking hundreds of Drexel ships with it. The screen turned white, then black aftermath. 1 day later, Lena stood on the Unity star, staring at the stars. No one spoke. A crew member approached quietly. "Ma'am, we picked up a signal." "What signal?" The woman handed her a device. A voice came through, tired, but alive. "You didn't think I'd go out that easy, and did you?" Rake. He had survived. He'd used a broken enemy pod to escape the last second. He floated now in deep space, barely, alive but smiling. They brought him in, and as he stepped onto the deck, wounded but standing, the entire ship saluted. The galaxy was safe. For now. But the war wasn't over, because somewhere, new enemies watched. And in the shadows of deep space, another voice whispered, "If humans can do this, what happens when they lead? Humanity's bravest act." The war should have been over. The Drexel fleet had lost Orion Station. The core was destroyed. Agent Core was presumed dead. The galaxy had seen what humans could do, how they stood, bled, fought, and never surrendered. But the fight wasn't finished, because peace is not won in one battle. It's won in the choices that come after. The Unity star, now badly damaged, floated in orbit above a quiet moon. Lena stood in the war room, her hands clenched behind her back. Every screen showed chaos, protests across planets, news of betrayal, governments blaming each other, talks of retaliation. Peace was hanging by a thread. Then came the message. A signal was received, not from the Drexel, but from a secret alliance of Outer Rim species, powerful, silent, and unknown. The voice was smooth, ancient, and cold. "You've burned a holy site. You destroyed the Star Dome. You broke the balance. We demand Commander Rake, alive, in exchange for peace." The room fell silent. Rake stood in the corner, listening. Lena turned to the others. "They want to trade his life for peace?" Captain Varys replied. "It's not just about him. They want a symbol, a sacrifice." One officer shouted, "If we give him up, who are we?" Another whispered, "But if we don't, war returns." Later, alone, Rake sat at a window staring into space. Lena entered, her voice soft. "They want you, Rake. I know. You could run. We could hide you." "No," he said. "That's not who I am." She stepped closer. "They're not asking for justice, Rake. They want revenge. They'll kill you." He turned his head. "Maybe. But if me dying stops a war that could kill billions, maybe that's the price." Flashback. Years ago. Young, Rake stood at a grave on Earth. Rain fell. His commander's voice echoed behind him. "You don't become a hero by surviving. You become a hero by choosing who you protect." Back in the present, Rake stood up. "I'll go." But Lena had one condition. "If you're not going alone." She planned a diplomatic escort. She would go with him. Talk. Fight for a better outcome. Rake agreed. But he had a secret. He had no plan to return. The final mission begins. The Unity star traveled to a neutral space station called the Void Citadel, a dark, ancient place where the galaxy's oldest treaties were signed. They arrived. Rake and Lena entered the main chamber where the alien leaders waited. Tall, glowing, quiet. One of them stepped forward. "Commander Rake, you will surrender. Your life will pay for your people's crimes." Lena spoke firmly. "We brought peace. We ended a war. He risked everything to protect this galaxy." The alien replied, coldly. "One peace does not erase 10 wars." Another added, "Give us the human, or we end the treaty." Rake looked at Lena. "I'm ready." Suddenly, alarms rang. A secret message came through Varys's communicator on the ship. Drexel, fleets are moving. They're not stopping. They use this demand as a trick. Lena's eyes widened. They were never going to keep peace. The alien leaders were being used, manipulated. And at that moment, Drexel's ships began attacking the Citadel from the outside. Explosions rocked the station. Chaos broke out. Rake grabbed Lena's hand. "We need to go, now." But one alien, leader, the oldest, stepped in front of them. He spoke calmly. "You had the choice to run. You didn't. That means something." Rake replied, "Then let us finish this. Together." The final choice. Lena raced to the command room. She discovered something shocking. The Citadel had an ancient energy weapon, never activated. It could destroy the incoming fleet, but using it required a manual override, and it could only be activated from outside the station, exposed with no shield. Whoever activated it would not survive. She looked at Rake. "No." "Yes," he said. "This is my war to end. I won't let you do this." He smiled. "You already saved me once. Let me return the favor. For Earth. For them." Rake suited up. He walked slowly to the outer deck, breathing deeply. No fear, no regrets, just purpose. The airlock opened. Space roared. He moved to the control panel. Enemies closed in. The fleet drew near. He activated the weapon. Back in the Citadel, the leaders watched. A white beam shot from the side of the station, powerful, ancient, and unstoppable. The Drexel fleet was hit mid-flight, ships vaporized, engines torn apart. The Yao Galaxy watched. They saw one man standing alone in space, giving everything to stop chaos. And then, silence. The signal from Rake's suit went dark. Epilogue. Weeks later. A peace treaty was signed. The war ended. The story of the human who stood alone was shared on every world, in every language. Statues were built. Songs were written. Lena spoke at the memorial on Earth. He didn't die to become a hero. He died so we could live without fear. He took the hit meant for me, but in the end, he saved all of us. She placed his name in the Hall of Unity, the first human to receive the title, Protector of the Galaxy. And as the crowd stood in silence, a small voice, like a child's, whispered to her, "Do you think he's really gone?" She smiled softly. "No," she said. "Heroes like him never really leave."